While Outlaws, the upcoming Star Wars video game set to bring an action-adventure feel to the beloved franchise, isn't out yet, its main star already has some thoughts on a potential live-action adaptation and the chances she'd take up the offer. Star Wars has had its fair share of video game titles over the years, as one would expect from one of the biggest multimedia franchises in history. Despite this, the franchise has never explored the increasingly common trend of large open-world titles until now, with the impending arrival of Star Wars Outlaws, an action-adventure title with a full open world and branching dialogue that will take players across the terrains in various vehicles and altercations. The game very much comes across as a Star Wars version of Mass Effect with a twist, exciting many fans of the franchise. A lot of attention has also been given to the main character Kay Vess, a scoundrel in the vein of Han Solo or Jack Sparrow, who is modeled after and portrayed by actress Humberly Gonzalez. While the game isn't available to fans yet, many are already considering the idea of a live-action adaptation, and the idea was brought up to Gonzalez in a recent interview. Talking to The Direct in relation to her latest film project, Tarot, Gonzalez was asked about potentially reprising her video game roles in a live-action Star Wars project, to which she replied, "Oh, absolutely, and I hope they do, because the story itself is canon. There's so much to explore, and I feel like people would love her in real life. And yeah, it would be a dream for sure." The interview went further, asking Gonzalez what canon character in Star Wars she'd like to interact with as her character, with her top pick being a villain so powerful they even had to be nerfed in Fortnite. I mean, the most amazing villain of all time, Darth Vader. She also agreed that a potential meeting with fan favorite Hera Syndulla would be fun, a sentiment certainly shared by large swaths of the fan base. It's still early days yet on Outlaws, but there's a ton of potential for adaptation with this sort of game, and there's even some fan interest in the idea already, as Star Wars Outlaws could pit Kay Vess against one Clone Wars icon and so much more besides. Being set further back in the timeline than many of the more recent live-action Disney Plus Star Wars shows means that it would immediately be a change of pace for fans watching at home without alienating the potential to be linked to some fan favorites. As for how likely a live-action adaptation is, there are a lot of unknowns to consider. While Disney has expressed interest in scaling down the number of projects for IPs like Star Wars and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the allowance for Disney Plus projects leaves the doors open for all sorts of adaptations and grounded projects. This makes it so Outlaws might get a chance if there are no long-term plans for new small-screen content, as that would mean any potential adaptation wouldn't fit in while relevant. Unfortunately, it seems as if Outlaws won't be able to move the needle as much as it should due to both early onset controversies and the limitations placed on it by the chosen era of Star Wars it's set in. Fans of the project can only hope that it manages to justify more of the same if it does come out with good experiences. Thank you for tuning in to Game Rant, and be sure to stay tuned for more news.